Hello, okay, so a quick one today. I'm just going to show you how to create and animate some basic shapes in Davinci Resolve. So there's two ways to start creating your shape. If you don't want the shape to be attached to any footage and you want to be able to drag it around your timeline whenever you want, then you'll come into your effects and drag a fusion composition onto your timeline. And then once you've got that selected, come over to your fusion tab, press shift and spacebar, type in background, add, and then we can drag it to the media out. So with the background selected, then you're going to add a shape. So you have a few shapes to select from here, or you can press shift and space and type in rectangle or triangle, and then we'll add the shape. So now, because we don't want it to be a solid, we can tick off the solid, add more of a border width, come here to change how the edges of the lines look. So I prefer a rounded look, and then we can mess around with the length. So I'm going to start it at 0 at the start of the clip, add a keyframe, and I'm going to add a keyframe to the end just to make it grow about there. Then you also have the position keyframe as well, so we can play around with that one too. And let's make it do a full loop all the way around, and then as it loops around, it also grows very slowly. But we want that to be a continuous animation, so we can add it back on. So if we add a keyframe for the length around halfway, and then just have it shrink again instead of growing, and then it should match the start when it gets to the end again. So you can also change the color as well if you wanted to. So if you come over to your background, you've got the color tab here. You don't have to choose solid color. You can have four corners, gradients. And the eyedropper doesn't work the same way here. You have to click and drag it to be able to make it work. Obviously, I have nothing to choose from there. So I'm just going to choose gradient. Yellow and white is fine. And just to see what that looks like, we've got a gradient rectangle. So you can also do things like a polygon. Obviously, that is absolutely terrible, but we don't want it to be a solid. And again, we need more of a border width. So with the polygon, you could animate it and draw it on however you want, and then create some fun little animations with your shapes. You also have the triangle as well that you can do. I'm just going to show you a quick one as well. If you wanted it to be actually on your footage, so right now we could drag this and put it over the top of anywhere on our timeline, which is obviously really handy. But if you just know that you wanted it in a certain clip, for instance this, like let's say I had a title in here and I just wanted an animated box around this, then I would turn these into a compound clip just so they're both stuck on the same one. Come over to the fusion tab. So the same kind of process, but this time there's an extra step. So I'm just going to unlink these two, shift space, add a merge layer, and then shift space again, add a background layer, drag the background to the merge and put this on media out just so I can see it. With the background selected, I'm going to add the rectangle and then drag your media in one to the merge one. So if you do it a certain order, sometimes things do not show up properly. So you just have to change the order that you've linked them. There you go. So now it works. Okay, I'm going to drag this over to my title. Don't want a solid, want a border width, want the nice edges. I change the color of the background to match the squirrel's fur. Come back to rectangle, and at the start I'm going to choose the least position and animate it halfway through, be around most of it, and then I'm going to add a position to turn all the way around while it's on. Okay, and then I'm just going to go back into the edit page and see if it worked. There we go. So nothing fancy, but as you can see, at least now you know how to do it, and there's a lot more you can do with it.